Hey everybody. In this video we're going to go ahead and do an actual interview and show you how to conduct an actual interview with a family member, a loved one, whomever the case might be. And we are here in the Redwood Falls Library, the mini meeting room. I'm Dave again, and we're here, I think you know this person.
Molly. Hi guys.
All right. And Molly has been kind enough to agree to let us use you in our video. So thank you for that. A few things. When you come into this meeting room, if you happen to do an interview here, you might do an interview at home or something, and that's great. But if you do an interview in the meeting room, I encourage you to get rid of the table. Just push the table off to the side. You can set your equipment on the table, but you don't want to interview the person over the table, because if you do that, it just makes your sound not quite as good. Now I have over here my questions, my interview questions. Typically you have interview questions typed out, and I'd like to keep them over here so that I can look over at them during the interview as need be, but I don't want to hold them in my lap or hold them in my hand, because guess what? They make noise. All right. So you put the headphones on. You always have the headphones on to do an interview. And then the joke with the microphone and the equipment is to get close and then get closer. So when I'm interviewing Molly, sorry, it's just the way it is. When I'm interviewing Molly, I'm going to have the microphone 3 to 4 inches slightly off to the side of her face and below her mouth. The mouth makes, well, first of all, if you hold it up like this, it kind of looks like you're going to hit somebody with it. And you want to avoid that. That does not make for good interviews. And also, when you talk, your voice makes certain, there's just air that comes out and makes the microphone sound bad. You get those popping sounds. So you hold it down here. I'm going to hit record. We talked about this in the last video. I'm going to hit record. And remember, I want my recording levels to be at 6. I want to see that orange. So usually what you'll do in an interview is you'll just say, I'm going to go ahead and just set my recording levels if you don't mind. Thanks for being here, by the way. You make some small talk, build some rapport. But if you don't mind, could you tell me what you had for breakfast this morning?
Oh, I had eggs and spinach for breakfast.
You had eggs and spinach?
Mm-hmm.
Is that a normal?
Yep.
Okay. Now, I don't have quite enough recording to see if I'm at 6 on my recording level. So I'm going to say, Molly, do you mind? I'm just setting my recording levels. Mm-hmm. Would you mind reciting the alphabet?
A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J, K, L, M, N, O, P, Q, R, S, T, U, V, W, X, Y, Z.
Great. And so you see what I was doing there. Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And I'm just making sure that I'm at 6. I've got myself tucked in here. Microphones get heavy. I use my elbow. My elbow. I put my elbow on my knee. And then I will start my interview. And so now I know who you are, Molly, but if you don't mind, would you introduce yourself and talk about your connections to Redwood Falls Library?
Sure. I've worked at the library now for many years. I'm a library clerk. I get to do work with patrons and shelve books and do research, do genealogy, and help people learn how to pursue their family history.
Great. Are you hiring? This sounds better than my job.
Not right now.
Oh, darn it. That sounds great, though. Now, what you do here, folks, by the way, is just do keep your eyes. So when Molly's talking, and can you tell me a little bit about Redwood Falls, if you would, please.
The city was founded in 1864 by Colonel Sam McPhail. Came with a group of men, and they built a stockade. So it was just a couple years after the U.S.-Dakota War, and there were still Dakota in the area, so they built a stockade for protection in those early years.
Interesting. Now notice I haven't moved much, and I'm just going to say a few things. A lot of times I'll just kind of glance over. I might glance over to see my questions. I glance over just to make sure my recording level is okay. But mostly I'm trying to make eye contact and trying to be a good listener to Molly. And you can let your person know that you've got to take a look, you've got to make sure everything's all right, but your goal is to be right here in conversation. And just a few quick things, and then we'll close this out and you'll be ready to go. First of all, never let the interviewee, never let this person hold the microphone. Because inevitably, and a lot of times they'll reach for it. I don't know if you want to act out, but and you just kind of, well, you know what, I'm going to go ahead and just hang on to it, and then I can have the mic in the best place. But people will grab the microphone and they start talking like this. You want to hold the microphone right here the whole time. If you want to record your questions, If you want to have your questions come on the recording a little bit better, you can slide the microphone just a little bit closer to you when you ask the question, and then position it right back over here. And the last thing that I want to say is that when you're a good listener, a lot of times you'll say things like, or that's great. You give verbal feedback. You want to avoid giving verbal feedback because you don't want to have the final recording of Molly be Molly telling about her job with me going, and all those ahas are in the recording too. So usually your job is to stay quiet and ask the questions. Now sometimes you'll be interviewing a loved one or a friend and they'll make a joke or tell a funny story. You go, oh, that's great. And that's a nice part of the recording. That's fine. But don't be saying So the bottom line is get really close. Look out if you hear anything in your headphones from cord noise or mic noise, that's in the recording. So just look out for the noises. Hold the microphone close and ask great questions and hear great stories. Check once in a while to make sure it's all okay over here. And I think you're good to go. Thanks for your...
All I want to add is that this is available as a kit for you to check out from the library. Please come check out this kit.
Yep, great. We hope you will. Thanks for your time, everybody. Thanks, Molly.